In a country where it's become normal not to have electricity for up to 12 hours a day, jobs have become scarce, the ever-increasing cost of living affecting most of the population, and corruption continuing to thrive, it's understandable that South Africans would be unhappy. Well, according to the Happiness Index, which monitors happiness in real time using sentiment analysis, the nation has had enough. Professor Talita Greyling from the University of Johannesburg joins us now to tell us more about this. She was part of course, she's part of the people who've done this research. Prof, good afternoon. Welcome to today here on eNCA. I know that you, together with Dr. Stephanie Rousseau from the Auckland University of Technology, have developed this indicator, which is applied, I understand, to live feed of tweets. So is this index based only on social media sentiment?
Yes, hi Dan. Yes, it is. So we extract a tract of tweets, and then we analyze the sentiment of each tweet. We use some algorithms, and then derive a daily time series data from the sentiment to get an idea of the sentiment and the mood and the behavior mood of people in South Africa.
Yeah, there's many indices that don't focus on sentiment or feelings or emotions. When did you begin it in South Africa?
We started in 2019, so we have time series from April 2019.
And then you've been tracking it on an ongoing basis. What is the latest data telling you? What is the latest data telling you?
The latest data, and we've been looking at it now, I mean, continuously, but the big dip in happiness happened on the 18th. So when the announcement was to move to stage 6, we saw that dip and the downscaling in GNH up to Tuesday, and then it ticked up a bit. So we saw the lowest levels of happiness on Tuesday at 6.33. That's almost the lowest for the year. It's lower than we had in April with all those disasters and the burns and the floods. And then it started increasing a little bit, but not much. It's about at 6.5 now. The average for 2022 is about 6.8.
So and that's out of a scale of what? Out of 10?
The scale is from 0 to 10, 0 being very unhappy, 10 being very happy.
So we are currently sitting at that. What are these feelings, these emotions that you are picking up? What are the sentiments, I mean, that people are expressing? I said at the beginning of this, people are angry. Is that one of the sentiments?
Yes, except for just the happiness that we calculate, we also extract 8 different emotions, and the emotions are fear, anger, sadness, disgust, joy, etc., anticipation, surprise. So we have time series data for each of those emotions as well. So we analyze the underlying emotion in a tweet. And what we found is that anger increased considerably on the 18th. It actually ticked back a bit, so it's a little bit lower at this stage. We found that disgust increased. We found sadness increased and fear increased. So all negative emotions increased. So there was, I would say, a significant increase in negative emotions, and with that, a significant decrease in positive emotions. Now it seems as if anger has settled a bit, but we still see the uptick in sadness and in fear.
What is the impact? What could the impact be, or the correlation be, with mental health then, if the emotions are so negative?
Well, if we think of mental health, then mental health is it's more to do with depression. It might be a consistent emotion, but what we don't want is negative emotions in general to be, or the increased negative emotions got negative effects on everything, on productivity. Yeah. It's a decrease on health. You don't want negative emotions in a country.
Yeah. Now, when many people are unhappy, if you read between the lines, it could lead to stuff. It could lead to things happening.
Well, what we find is definitely if there's an increase in anger and there's an increase in disgust, it can be that will it can tick over into some kind of either strikes, some kind of crime, and which has happened before. So these are leading indicators. If we see these increase significantly, it is already indication that we should be aware that something might happen. So for policymakers as well, it's a warning. Have a look, people are really unhappy, and be warned about it. Do something, put something in, have some type of intervention to change that mood around, to convince people there's a plan. Try to get that negative emotions into positive emotions with hope and optimism. And you can do that by giving a plan.
Okay, that makes sense. But can I ask you, as you've been tracking this happiness index from 2019, have you got an idea, what do we as South Africans become happy about? What makes us happy? I mean,
yes.
Where we become happy.
We are very happy if Bafana performs well. If any of the soccer, if Kaizer Chiefs win a game, you can see it. So with any sports event, we can see if if the Bulls win or the South African rugby team performs well. So sport really increases our happiness. About any public holiday, if you see a public holiday or something like Father's Day, Mother's Day, we definitely see a significant increase in happiness. So there are events that make South Africans very happy. Even previously, before COVID, if there was a big musical event, you can see the happiness increase.
So it's the world of sports, world of entertainment that picks up our emotions and changes the sentiment. Have you found that policymakers, you mentioned them earlier in answering another question of mine, pay attention to such indices? Because this is a fairly new one in South Africa. It's 3 years old, but you are tracking real-time sentiment on social media, where we take to as South Africans when we're frustrated. Are they using this? Do you think there's a space for it to be used?
Currently, governments outside of South Africa use it. We are tracking this type of sentiment for 26 countries. And New Zealand's statistical services has accepted these data sets as official data. So they're reported next to their GDP, their interest rates, etc. South Africa has not yet. Some of the European countries has accepted it and working with it. For example, Luxembourg, statistical services. But we are making progress. The Director General of communication contacted us, and he heard about this now during this week, and they said that they are interested. So I hope that South African policymakers will also take notice of this data and use it as indicators.
Yeah, you must go and meet Risenga Maluleke, the Statistician General of South Africa as well, and knock on his door to see if he can embrace it.
He's made me an appointment.
I wish I could. Hopefully somebody from the Stats SA office is listening to this conversation. Thank you very much, Prof. Talita Greyling, for your time this afternoon and sharing some of your insights here about the happiness index that she and a partner are responsible for in 26 other countries, and several others like New Zealand is now being taken seriously. Currently, our sentiment is a little bit down. Can you be surprised? Are you surprised? Okay, let's